Welcome to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast, your one-stop shop for raw takes on current events, sports, news, and everything in between. Inspiring people to chase their dreams, share their success stories, and find joy in life. Now, here's your captain at the helm, U.S. Navy veteran, Jimmy Rodgers.
All right, we're really honored and privileged to welcome to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast. Our next guest is a female Texas country music artist. She's 8-time Texas Female Vocalist of the Year, 10 number one hits in Texas. She has 14 tour dates coming up in Texas, including a stop October 21st at Concert in the Country. She also has her own podcast called OnlyVans. Let's make sure you check that out. Welcome to the show, Bri Bagwell. Well, thanks for taking the time today. I know you probably have a busy schedule. It looks like you're doing something important there. So thanks for taking the time to hang out with us for a little bit today.
No problem.
All right, I want to start off with just a little bit of fun with you. So we're gonna throw some questions at you, and we can looking for like one-word responses.
That's hard for me.
All right, you ready? Sometimes we always do this, and then it ends up being like not one-word responses, but we try.
Right.
All right. So, favorite tequila?
Free.
Okay. What's your favorite vacation spot?
Free. No, I can't say free every time.
Oh my! Come on. Where's the best
I'm
place
just kidding.
you've ever visited?
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. I've never been to Mexico. I've been all around the world, but not Mexico.
Like deep Mexico. I'm talking like remote. Maybe that's my answer is remote.
Okay. Resort. If you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
Whiskey.
That's what I said.
You ready? Not my dog.
I don't get that, like the whole last meal on death row. Who wants to eat right before you die? I mean,
yeah.
Terrible.
No, I agree. Let's get drunk.
Exactly. I don't want to feel this.
No.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm from New Mexico.
All right. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Okay. All right. So let's dive into this more serious stuff and why you're joining us today. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a Navy veteran and co-founder of Boots for Troops. It's a nonprofit organization here in Montgomery County. Tomball, Magnolia, Conroe. I'm sure you're familiar with the area.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And so every year we host, this is our 8th annual Concert in the Country. And it's a huge fundraiser. 100% of the net profit goes to Boots for Troops. You're coming down October 21st as part of the lineup. We're very excited to have you. We've never had you before. What can our fans and our attendees and guests expect from Bri Bagwell and her band?
I have a killer band right now. My guys are awesome. You got some steel guitar, just a really rockin' country music set. We do a lot of originals, but we also do a lot of covers. If people haven't heard my music, we'll also play some 90s country for sure. Probably throw in some Selena or Willie Nelson. I don't know. We kind of never know. But if you like old school country and maybe a little bit of music in Spanish,
okay,
we're here for you for that.
I love that. That's going to be fun for our crowd, certainly. For sure. I honestly, I've been doing this for 8 years, and I also own a company called Valor Entertainment, and I'm just so shocked that I've never worked with you before, but I've heard so many great things about you. So we're really excited to have you.
Thanks. Well, thanks for having us.
For sure. Do you have any connection to the military? Do you have a family member, brother, sister? What's your connection to the military, if any?
Well, both my grandfathers were in the Army. And then I've done a lot of things through the years. You know, we're very fortunate as musicians to be able to be involved with, you know, great organizations like y'all and gone on some hunts and done those types of things. I wrote a theme song for the Navy SEAL Foundation or SEAL Legacy Foundation. So I did some work with them. I've also, you know, done some of the boot campaign photos with, I don't know how y'all do things in those shoes. They are so heavy. So I've been lucky to be kind of involved with a bunch of different organizations, but and a lot, of course, friends and stuff that have served, but
Sure.
yeah, so thank you for your service and continuing to give back. I mean, it's great.
Well, thank you. I will have to say that I have to give a lot of credit to my team, this community. I just had an ideal, and the people in this community and the sponsors and everybody who's a part of it helps make it what it is. So if you don't know, we send custom care packages overseas to troops all around the world, and each box comes with a new pair of boots. But we customize each box, so we get to know the service member, where they're from, what they're missing from home, their favorite sports teams, their favorite snacks, and then we build a box that's specifically for them. So it's almost like we call it a hug in a box. When they get it, it's like getting a hug from home. So what you're coming to be a part of is very important, and it's very special for our service members. So I hope you're fired up.
That is awesome. Oh, I'm excited. It's like, that's so sweet. I was like getting choked up. Remember, you can't cry before 4 p.m.
Right. Who's somebody in your life? I know. So it's very tough especially like in the Texas music scene as a female. And you happen to be one of the more successful, if not the most successful female artists in Texas. What's your advice to some of these young and up and coming female artists, the Peyton Howies, the Susan Hickmans, the young girls that are inspiring to be like Bri Bagwell? What's your advice to them?
That's so nice. Well, I just had lunch with a new girl that's starting out, and we were joking when I left. She's like, "What are you going to tell her?" And I was like, "I'm going to tell her, don't do it."
It's not worth it.
That's not right. No, that's not right. I think that, well, I mean, it's what people told me, like Kyle Park and Eli Young Band when I was starting 10 years ago, that this industry, this whole scene is about perseverance and kind of sticking it out. So it's not about, some people do pop right away and they have a successful career, or they might pop and come right back down. Like for me, it's kind of been like a steady climb. I've been doing this full time, like 15 years or something crazy. So just really making it work and sticking it out for as long as you possibly can. And there's always a way, and maybe thinking outside the box more than I've thought of the most crazy things just to be able to make ends meet and make my career last.
So never give up, basically, is what you tell them. Just stick with it.
Yeah. It's sometimes about longevity, and that's what they told, Eli Young Band. I remember them being like, it was 7 years before we started selling tickets.
Yeah.
If they would have given up on year 5,
right.
And I think I was on year 3 at that point, and I was like, oh my gosh, if you're not willing to be in it for the long haul, it's not the business for you. Mm-hmm.
Fair. Do you have a female artist, not necessarily Texas, but just female country music artist that was somebody that you looked up to or inspired to be like, or motivated you in your career?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been Miranda. Like my mom came in, and when she saw Kerosene, the music video, and she's like, "You got to see this girl." And once I saw her, I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." Like, I grew up in 90s country, and I love Martina McBride and Faith Hill, but that's not necessarily my voice or my style. So I always kind of thought you had to have this big range, a big voice. And I kind of want to go on stage and like burn something down. So when I saw that, I was really motivated by Miranda. And of course, Sunny Sweeney for me Sunny's been a giant inspiration, and now one of my really good friends.
Awesome. I love everybody you mentioned. I love.
Yay.
Okay. So, trying to think. I lost my notes here.
Yeah, usually when I say Sunny Sweeney, that happens to men. Or
Lainey Wilson, I know you.
Oh yeah,
we love Lainey.
I love her. Somebody posted, every once in a while Nashville gets it right, and they got it right with Lane. I mean, she's a great writer, great singer. I mean, yeah, she's rad.
For sure. You've performed in some venues around this town, like Red Brick Tavern. I think you did. Was this area Tomball, Conroe, Magnolia, Montgomery County? Did it play a vital role in your success coming up in your career?
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've played a ton of Charlie Diggs events that are around there. A lot of festivals. I played Main Street Crossing in Tomball, still do, and Red Brick Tavern, of course, has always been great to me. So I felt and the Woodlands, Conroe, that I feel like I played around there. And Montgomery, I used to play Ransom's about 12 years ago, Ransom Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And so I cut my teeth in that whole area, and I love that area. I got a lot of friends there, so hopefully they will all come out. They better come out.
They will. Yeah. We've been doing, like I said, we're already hearing people talking, asking about you. They're excited to have you here. So it's going to be a fun show, and you're going to be sharing the stage with Joe Nichols and Daryl Worley as well. Cool. Are you fans of their music?
Oh yeah, I played with both of them many times. So it's been a while since I played with Joe, but yeah, I played with both those guys. They're awesome. So I can't wait. We're all hopefully still friends after the COVID. I haven't seen them.
Right. Daryl Worley, as you know, yesterday was 9/11. Is known for they call it the 9/11 anthem. The song "Have You Forgotten."
Have you forgotten? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a very special moment at our event just because of the theme of the event and what we're doing. So all good stuff, fun stuff ahead. Talk to me a little bit about your podcast. You have a podcast called Only Vans, which when they told me about this podcast, I just started laughing. I was like, that's amazing. But what's the theme behind it, and tell us about it?
Well, I basically trap people in my van, which is creepy. So we talk about things that we don't get to talk about, artist to artist, kind of. So
right.
and everyone has a topic. So my best friend Sarah Hobbs was on, and we talked about like the creepy DMs we get asking for pictures of our feet, and like we did the whole podcast about just the messages that we've gotten. So that was interesting.
Wait, you really get a message? You really get lots of messages of people asking to see pictures of your feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
For real. And
people
sometimes
really
I think,
do that.
well, I say this, I say this on there. Sometimes I don't know, like, what if it's like Jody Booth playing a joke on me or something? Or, what if it's just a joke to see if I would do it? But, I've gotten feet isn't even the weird ones, but it's strange, or just, this doesn't really happen to dudes like it happens to girls. And so pretty fun to talk to another artist about it.
Is this Instagram, Facebook, or what is this? What DMs are we talking here?
Well, I'm talking Instagram because I stopped checking Facebook DMs because those ones are like, I leave my Facebook messages worried that I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah. Dude, I'm totally going to I'm totally inboxing you like in 3 days.
Why don't I just give you my password and you can log in and you go see those messages for yourself?
I'm going to troll you in like 3 days. I'm just kidding.
Send me a picture of your Cash App. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet, man. I mean, I get interesting messages myself, but I can only imagine somebody like you and what you read. But do you ever just like lay in bed at night and get bored and like, hey, I'm going to go open my messages and just see what people are saying to me? Because I'm sure you get a ton. I mean.
Yeah, I do it with my band, like in the van. I'll make them do it because, when you get a picture, if it's not from a friend, like you have to actively click that photo for the image to unblur, and you just never know, And I've been a few times like, well, there's a naked man.
Unbelievable. People really do that.
So I just let my band do it. Yeah.
Well,
the internet has really changed the game and that we have to do social media. It's part of our job. And sometimes I open it and it's something delightful, or your song changed my life. And here's a picture of my husband that died, and this is our favorite song or something. So you do want to look, but then it's always like, oh, okay.
Risky business.
Yeah.
Make sure you're in the creepy van and not out in public somewhere. You never know what you're going to open.
Especially in the
no kidding.
Area,
yeah, especially in the condo area. Tell me what your favorite venue you've ever played.
Ooh. Well, that's really tough because our neighborhood bar is Green Hall, and we love playing Green. I do it like once a year. But I love Do-Si-Do in the Woodlands. That's one of my favorites. Main Street Crossing is also amazing. Okay, I'm like, you asked for one.
You just love this area. You're excited to come here.
I am.
You have 14 stops in Texas coming up, and your favorite stop is going to be Concert in the Country.
That's right. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about y'all's big party, and it's on a Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See, Saturdays are my favorite because I have to behave kind of Thursday and Friday to save my voice and stuff, make sure I don't blow it out.
Yeah.
So then Saturday, like once I hit that last note.
Yeah, because Saturday's the big day. Like whatever you're doing Thursday and Friday, I mean, whatever. But Saturday, Saturday's the day we need you to be like A on your A game, you know. You're gonna love.
Well, we're doing a cruise in October too, so I'll be nice and rested and before.
So, just so you know, this Concert in the Country event is on this like 40-acre horse farm. It's a private property, and if you just drive by it right now, it just looks like this huge open pasture with horses in it. Come the week of Concert in the Country, we were bringing all the logistics, the stage, the tents, the fencing, the light towers, you name it. And it just really transformed into this really awesome, when you take the stage, when you look out over the crowd, you're going to see like 13 or 14 acres, and you're going to see horses and longhorns and the sun setting. And it's a very unique, I know you've probably played many special venues and places, but you're going to leave this event and remember it forever. I promise you.
I can't wait. I'm very excited. This girl the other day asked me, she said, we should put on a festival together, an all-female festival. And I was like, girl, I don't know if you know what goes into, like, just like you said, like all the logistics of it. Like, I think somebody else should handle all of that. But I'll be there and I'll sing, but I would like someone else to handle all of that.
It's a lot more than people realize. We have to have a 30-person committee help us with this. So it takes a lot of people, and then also the money, the sponsors in the community that help fund it is important too. So there's a lot to it. But okay, I did not know you had your own podcast, but I do now, and I will be checking out OnlyVans. And for all of our listeners, make sure y'all check out OnlyVans. The name's very creative. It's actually really funny.
I think it was my old tour manager that came up with that. I can't remember, but it was something, we were talking about. We always joke about starting an OnlyFans, like just as COVID, like times were tough. It was like, I might have to start selling those feet pictures. And then it evolved into this whole idea for this podcast. And the response has been really great. So you should come be my guest sometime.
I'd love to. I want to come check out the creepy van. See how creepy this van really is.
I know. I ordered it's falling apart. I have a Sprinter van,
Yeah.
And it has just started out bad and then only got worse. And so now it's leaking through the ceiling. So whenever it rains, I have to hold my dog bowl underneath the lights. So it's like shorted all the lights. And then now it's leaking through the seat belt. So we're all just like soaking wet driving down the highway. So I ordered a new van in April and it's still not here.
So your van, the van is the setting for the podcast, but it's also is that the van that you guys travel in and stuff?
Mm-hmm. And it's my worst nightmare, all in one. So
is it coming to Concert in the Country?
Hopefully this new one. Well, hopefully not. I hope I have the new one by then, because
I hope not.
If this one, the check engine light's on again, it's like,
I hope not. I
don't
want
know.
to see this one.
Right. Well,
Wait, what are you going to do with the old van when the new van gets here?
Well, I was hoping that they would take my old van as a trade-in, but the guy who sold me my new van, he follows me on Facebook, and he's like, I know what's wrong with that van, and I don't think we can take. Like, I think it's cursed.
We should auction it at Concert in the Country.
Yeah, we can auction it, or we know what else we can do is you should just keep it as a permanent studio for the podcast.
I hate this van. The sight of it makes me want to throw up.
Supposed to drive it off a cliff.
You mentioned this van. Yeah, I really want to set it on fire. Not too long ago, there was like this little tiny microburst came through New Braunfels where we live and picked up the neighbor's trampoline 4 houses down and dropped it right on top of my van. So I came out, my tour manager's like, hey, can you come out here? Yeah, God hates my van. Like, it is so
Hang
awesome.
in there. It's almost over.
I know. I refuse to fix it because it's like, well, I'm not putting another $1 into this van before the new one comes. But last word.
At least you have a new one on order.
Yeah, and it says Ford.
Do you know a guy named?
Look.
Do you know a guy named Ross Perry?
Oh, I'm so sorry that I do. I'm just kidding.
He's like your biggest fan, though. He's your biggest fan.
No, I love him. Did he tell you about the time that I kidnapped him on the bus?
He probably has. I just don't remember. But
yeah,
Ross is a good friend.
We played a show. Is he?
Yeah.
He's so awesome. He was partying on our bus one night, and I know we were around that area. I can't remember where we played, but it was back when we had a bus before COVID. And I was like, we're going to Midland tomorrow. Like, come on. And he was like, okay. And then the next day he woke up in Midland and he was like, what did I do?
Oh, wait, he has told me the story. 100%.
Yeah, he went with us to Midland. It was great.
Well, he'll be there, and he loves you, and he's one of your biggest fans. So I thought I'd give him a little shout out.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you. I've never seen you perform before. I've heard a lot of great things. So thanks for taking.
It's a great show. Debbie Glenn called me one time, and she said, "Hey, I got this girl coming to play. You got to come here." And it's just unbelievable. Yeah. So
thank you. That was a long time ago.
So I've seen you play several places around Montgomery. People are going to love you there.
Oh, well, thank you. It's very fun right now because I've had 2 years of just replacing guys since COVID. It kind of took away.
Yeah.
I've been just replacing band members, and so I finally have a set band and a crew like for the first time in a long time. So it's like feels like a deep breath. We got a great group of guys right now, really, really killer band. So for me, that's easy. I just get on stage and they do a great job, and it's very fun.
And your team,
the most fun job in the world.
Your team that I've been working with behind the scenes is great too.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, because I pay them a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, I've worked with the good and the bad, and they've been really good, and I can appreciate that. Sometimes I feel I can get lost in like being they call us promoters. I don't really consider myself a promoter. I'm more like a event organizer. But sometimes you work with camps that are fun to work with, and they're good, and some aren't. So your people have been amazing, and I don't know if that's connected to the cause or what the event's for, but they do a good job.
That's great. You. Well, I have nothing against men. I'm not a man hater, but my whole team happens to be all women. My booking agents are both women.
Here we go. And
then my PR team is all women. So if you want to get something done, they will do it, and they are so like all those girls fight for me all day, every day.
They do, but I will say I work in an office where I'm the only male. It's not fun. It's not fun. Because they team up. They team up, man. They team up. They band together and they team up on you. It's like, and what the narrative is these days. If a man raises his tone or something, he's a jerk, or he's not. He doesn't care about women. Anyways, I love my women. I empower my women. I think my women do a great job for me. So
right, yeah, good for you. Well, and good for you hiring a female, band and giving shout outs to people like Kate and Howie, and like there's not a lot of girls with a band in Texas, and that's what I've been like trying to push for and advocate for and help any way that I can, because it's a really tough lifestyle, but there are more girls now doing it than there have ever been, so it's a step in the right direction. I love the women's idea for the all women's music festival. Like, I'm all about it. We always have a female. We need Lainey.
Yeah, Lainey can headline.
Great.
Lainey can headline.
Yeah, we need a big headliner. We don't want to.
I just want to walk. I just want to watch from backstage.
Yeah, you and everybody else. It's like backstage only.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. Well, we're looking forward to having you. Thanks for taking some time with us today.
No problem.
We'll be seeing you in a few weeks, and we hope you're excited to be there, and we're gonna have a great time. I am really excited. Thanks for doing what you do. Let me know how I can help in any way I can. And my team too, they're happy. My dog, she won't do anything for you, but the rest of us would love to help. Is the dog coming with you? Is the dog coming? She always, if that's okay, we ask in the advance emails, but she sits in the van, we leave it on, air conditioned, and she has her own headphones, so if I want to hold her and she wants to watch Joe Nichols, she can just sit there and... She's more than welcome. This is a family. This is a what do I call it? Animal-friendly event, because there's, like I said, there's horses, bucking bulls, and it's on a farm, literally. So yeah, we'd love to have her. And I have a Frenchie named Astro, and he's cool as you're gonna love him. Don't steal him though. You can't steal him.
Astro.
His name's Astro.
Well, I'm recording a song today about my dog, and I am really excited for that.
Right.
That probably will be out soon, So if you're a dog lover, be on the lookout for that. If I can get through it, it makes me cry every time. But
I will. But I'm really looking forward to you singing some Selena.
Oh yeah, it's gonna. I think it always goes over well in Texas, where people kind of know me for that now. But we were just in Washington, and I was like, we played you some 90s country, and everyone was like, yeah. And then we played you some Willie Nelson, and everyone was like, yeah. And I was like, now I'm gonna play you my other influence. I'm gonna play you some Selena, and the crowd was like, oh, it just didn't go as well.
Oh, it'll go great here. It's always good to have a little bit of a change of pace, because it's always country. So like throwing some, Selena is gonna be awesome.
We'll do that. But they loved it once we played it. They just didn't know that they loved it.
Yeah.
She's a queen.
All right. Well, when you arrive on the 21st, I'll be sure to come over and say hello and meet you in person for the first time. Looking forward to it, and hopefully working together this year and many years to come.
Yes, I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Sorry, this is my Tuesday attire.
Just be on the lookout for my creepy DM. I'm just kidding.
My feet picture price is
right.
Pretty high. So,
all right.
Yeah, it's the new van.
Hey, maybe we can raise some money with a foot picture. I don't know.
There you go. Okay.
We'll put it in the sound. We'll put it in the live auction.
Oh
my God.
Right. Bri Bagwell
I have
foot
pretty
picture.
good feet, I will say.
We'll find out who the creeps in the crowd are real quick.
I kind of like this idea. Let me run it by my PR team and see what they say.
All right. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you.
All right, we're back here on the Sailor Jimmy podcast. Before I bring on the next guest, I want to again thank Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen in Tomball, Texas, for their sponsorship. Republic Roof LLC, Texas Stage, and then we have another sponsor here, B&B Custom Upholstery, the owner of B&B Custom Upholstery. His name is Brent Thor. Brent, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been watching. It's fun to finally be here.
Glad to have you here too, man. It's always I was able to line up some pretty amazing celebrity guests. You may be a local celebrity, but some
in my own mind,
right,
if nothing
right?
else.
All of us men think we are. No, but I've been able to get some pretty. We just had Bri Bagwell on the show, and
she was good.
She's coming down to play concert in the country. But we also want to highlight businesses like yours who not only support the podcast, but you also support Boots for Troops, concert in the country, and then I'm sure you do many more things in the community. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But first, I want to talk to you about a little bit about yourself. You are a retired paramedic, correct?
So I started in 1987 as in the fire service. I was going to go into the military, and that was my path. And when I went through MEPS and they did my physical, they found that I had 2 rods in my right leg from a past surgery, and they said, "Thank you very much for playing. Have a nice day." And just through connections, had somebody with California Department of Forestry and managed our local fire department up in Bass Lake, where they filmed the movie The Great Outdoors
Nice.
with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, and just had the opportunity to do that. Had some people that I met down in Lake Isabella outside of Bakersfield, California, that own the local ambulance service. Okay. And the guy was like, "Hey, you should go on a ride along." I said, "Well, what's that?"
Yeah.
And so that's where I got into EMT school and paramedic school, and then went through, did that till 2009, and had the opportunity to go sell technology and then get into consulting. And then, as everybody did with COVID, everybody's plans kind of changed. And a really good friend of mine had the upholstery shop and had been doing it for a long time. And we were joking about how we were both looking for a career change. And he said, "Why don't you take over the shop?" And it was actually a year ago today. Wow. I took it over. So
happy anniversary.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been exciting, because I had for so many years you see people at their worst, and they're never calling you because they're having a cookout and they want you to come have a burger. But to see people that they bring stuff in, and the look on their face when redo whatever it is. I had a family heirloom rocking chair that I did for a friend of mine up in Montgomery, and his wife was just like, God, I don't want anybody to touch it. It was my grandfather's, and when she got it back, it was just the look on her face was so it's that kind of stuff. And then through a mutual friend, I got introduced to Boots for Troops, and a little less than a year ago, and it's just been so exciting to give back to an organization that does so much, and to the packing parties, and like your birthday party, and and turning that into a packing party, and bringing more people in that just get excited by writing a letter and putting it in, and reading what comes back in the notes and things that service members send, and for the gala, the mothers, the people that were there speaking on, their family member being able to get back for a funeral or whatever the case.
Spending the last 8 days with their dad.
It's just, it's those things that you realize, I'm not a, one of these guys that, can do, like Moffitt or one of those, but every little bit helps. And
shout out Moffitt Services.
Yeah, and guys like that do, and Planet Ford 59, and those guys that are just they give so much to these types of organizations, and it's just so cool to be a part of that, knowing that every little piece goes to the greater good.
Well, the thing is that you mentioned there's everybody gives on a different level,
right?
Okay, and what people need to understand is that the money's important. Money's important in anything you're doing, whether it's a business, nonprofit, whatever. But there's so many ways to get involved. And some people don't have necessarily money to give, but think about the people that serve on our committees, our volunteers that come out. They're not necessarily giving money, but we're not capable. It wouldn't even be close. We wouldn't be able to do the concert in the country, the gala, without these volunteers and these committee members who give their time. So many incredible people. And I tell people all the time, if you're living your life and you're not giving back in some way, it doesn't have to be Boots for Troops. If your passion is military and you're here locally, we're a great organization to get involved with. If your passion is cancer, get involved with a cancer organization. Get involved with a homeless organization. But if you're not giving back, you're missing out on one of the greatest joys you'll ever feel in your life, in terms, like in your heart.
Oh, 100%.
To see whenever you get to see the impact of changing somebody's life, like you said, even with your business, somebody comes pick up an old rocking chair or whatever, or the chair that you fixed. But just helping other people and making an impact is the greatest feeling you'll ever have in life.
Yeah, and it could be something as little as, when you see somebody broken down on the side of the road, pulling over and can I help? Or, you hear somebody who's, we've had one of the most devastating wildfire seasons in this area's history. And so many families are without, and can I clean out my closet because somebody's got somebody that's about my build that has no clothes? Or can we do a food drive and put together? During COVID, we had people that we were putting together food baskets for some of the servers and hospitality people that were out of work. And but when you had Dawn on, you guys talked about volunteerism and volunteering being the key to that. And like you said, giving back, and that's what it's all about, is how do we build one another up, and how do we support our community by volunteering and by donating? And it's just about being a part of something bigger.
For sure. And I want to thank you and BB Custom Upholstery for your involvement in the organization, supporting the podcast. It's businesses like yours in our community that give people like me hope, and especially as a young person, even investing in my podcast. Will you get business or work from it? We hope. We try to push the B&B Custom Upholstery company, but I don't think you necessarily do it for that. I think you want to support.
Oh, absolutely.
You want business, but you also want to support me as a friend, and you want to see young people be successful. So I think people like you, your generosity is important.
And we want to see these, and going out and trying to get other sponsors and bringing people in. You want to see things like this succeed. You want to see organizations. There's a group of us, we always laugh, when the Powerball gets up to whatever, what would you do? And, when you really think about it, to be able to take enough of that to live on and put the rest of it into veterans organizations and, those types of thing of helping the people. We live in the greatest country on earth, and it's those people that put on the uniform every day that are fighting and away from home and don't get to be here for Labor Day, don't get to be, see their kids' first step, they're the ones that sometimes are the most neglected while they're deployed and when they get back home. So doing things that help those individuals and making those individuals feel special, that's way beyond. Yeah, like you said, as a business owner, you always want to get something back out of it, but as a good Christian and as a good steward of our country, you want to do things so those people that are putting their lives on the line go, wow, somebody appreciates it.
Yeah, and that's from what you just said there at the end is hits home for me, because that's what's important to us. I've been on the other side of the world. I've been away from home, and that's what that care package means. Yep. It means that, hey, somebody knows I'm here, they care that I'm here, and they want to show their appreciation. And it means the absolute world. I can't ever describe it perfectly in words of what it means to get something from home when you're away. So appreciation is a big deal, especially for me. Is there somebody in your life that is a name jump out at you that you appreciate, that helps you along your journey in your career or life to get to where you are?
Yeah, luckily it's my dad.
Yeah.
My dad has, my parents divorced when I was 10, and my dad at 53, I'm 53 years old. My dad's still my best friend, my mentor. When I'm struggling with things, I can pick up the phone and call him and go, man, I'm just, and he'll never give me the answer, but he'll walk me through the process. But, absolutely. I mean, I would not be anywhere close to where I am today without having him to be able to, call up and lean on. And, and he's very spiritual and gets up every morning, reads his Bible, and, works with, he's still in the Central California, Fresno area, but works with, people that are in substance abuse programs as a counselor. And, is really, really thankful to have that person.
Yeah. And I think that our society's got away from that a little bit, especially like in the newer generation, just from what I've seen. People want to focus on, well, I earned that position. I earned this spot. They're not as grateful for the people that gave them the opportunity to get to that position or that spot. They just come in with a lot of entitlement. I hope we can get back to a society that shows love and appreciation for the people that give you the opportunity in the first place to even put in the work to get to where you are, right? So I'm always thankful and grateful for all the people in my life, whether it's people that I had in the military, chiefs, people that I had in organizations that I worked at that taught me, showed me the way, taught me leadership. So if you have somebody out there in your life that's given you an opportunity or has played a role in your success, make sure you're thanking them and appreciating them, because it'll mean the world to them just to hear you say it, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
Well, absolutely. And, we've come, I had a post yesterday about, it being the anniversary of 9/11 and being a fireman in Arizona that day, and the look. I mean, all of us sitting around a table like this, looking at the TV and watching what was happening, and just, we've gone to a society where if you wear a uniform, you're kind of the bad guy. And, realizing that in everywhere there's good and bad, but you've got people out there, whether it's firemen, EMS, cops, whoever, military. Whether you put on the uniform to support your community or your country, when you see those people, shake their hand, tell them thank you. Just, without them, we're in a bad spot.
100%. So just to transition back a little bit to you own B&B Custom Upholstery. You guys are out of Montgomery, Texas, right? Yeah,
BB Custom in Montgomery. We're down here in the Tomball area off 2920 since 2009.
So you have two locations.
No, so Brandon Baylor, who started the company, was down on where Bri Bagwell is now.
Okay.
And then he moved it up a couple of years ago to Montgomery, but same people so when I took it over, same old guy that's been sewing for him for 10 years is, still working for me. And we still have that same quality as number one. And so
I know you do a lot of boats. You redo the upholstery in boats. You talked about doing a recliner or something.
So
what other type of things are you capable of doing if somebody needs some work done?
High-end, boats, cars, motorcycles. We do a lot of custom motorcycle seats. We do a lot of high-end cars, Bentleys. We've done some Shelby Cobras. Down to, if you saw the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, several of the wagons that were in the grand entry.
Nice.
We do the work for several of the wagon folks. Canvas, bimini tops, car covers, boat covers, you name it. Where we focus on is that custom work.
Yeah.
Somebody that wants something a little bit different. We don't compete with the guys that work out of a storage shed. And,
right.
We maintain all of our liability insurances and all that, but we want that quality and that custom piece that somebody's going to spend a little bit extra, a little bit more than they would, but they want that perfect piece that, in 2 or 3 years, if something happens, they bring it back and go, hey, and we just take care of it.
What about golf carts?
We do golf carts. We were doing some work for one of the big custom manufacturers up in the Conroe Willis area. But we can, anything that's vinyl, canvas, leather, you name it, we do it. And like I said, we like to create that custom work for somebody.
Kind of like the custom care packages.
The custom care packages.
Maybe that's why we align so well. We're all about the custom.
It is. And that's, and that's the neat thing about it is just, taking somebody's vision.
Right.
And people ask me about the care packages and especially people that I know through church. And I said, think of it as an angel tree.
Yeah.
Because that sign up form is kind of the same thing. How old are you? What's your shoe size? What's your shirt size? What do you like here? What do you,
What's so much more impactful, and I know this from experience, because when we used to get care packages when I was deployed, it was just like they would take a master roster, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then they just send a bunch of generic stuff in boxes. Okay, and that's fine, and we're grateful, but the difference between that and then opening a box where you say, okay, I'm an Astros fan, I'm a Texans fan, I got an Astros hat and a Texans flag to hang on my rack, and I got the cookies from my favorite bakery back in Tomball, and then they're like, whoa, this box was like somebody put this whole box together just for me, and like the impact it makes on your morale is just way more than a generic box. No offense to the generic boxes, but it's special.
And for anybody who hasn't done one of these packing parties, I think it was Lindsay or somebody said it's like going shopping at Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just rows and rows. But to go down and go, oh, they like, Swedish fish. And it's crazy the amount of people that like Takis.
Takis are gold on deployment.
It's like there's cases and cases.
And when you're on deployment, man, you can eat whatever you want a lot of times because you're sweating so much that like you just burn so many calories. So you can just have whatever you want to eat. But make sure you guys, to our listeners out there, are going and supporting businesses like BB Custom Upholstery. All of our sponsors, Boots with Troop sponsors, the podcast sponsors. These are companies that are supporting their community. They're not looking to get work out of it, but we want to support those that support us. So I hope you guys will support Brent and his business if you need something in that industry.
Appreciate it.
One other question for you. You're on the committee for Concert in the Country. You do a lot with the organization. You've been out to Concert in the Country a few times. Tell somebody that maybe has never been, tell them what your first experience was like, and how do you feel about Concert in the Country? It's coming up October 21st with Daryl Worley, Joe Nichols, Bri Bagwell, so many wonderful entertainers. But tell them about your experience going out to Concert in the Country.
So the biggest thing I would say that's different from any other venue that you go to for an outdoor concert is everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody is there to support the troops. Everybody is there to raise money for supporting our troops. And the energy level, when you walk through that place, the level of energy from everybody in the crowd, the level of energy that the entertainers put out, it's unlike any other outdoor concert that you'll go to, because it's just, everybody is just having a blast.
Yeah. It's so hard to describe it. You literally have to go.
You do.
And you're right, the energy level, and that's what we preach in our meetings, in our production meetings that I lead, our committee meetings. I'm very heavy on the production team about keeping the energy high, because that's what we want. We want high energy, but our volunteers, people like you in our committee, are passionate about being there. They're there for a reason, and you guys love what we're doing. So you can just, like, you're right, just the energy you feel in that place it's like a love fest for our country and our troops. And you can't get this same experience anywhere else.
No. No.
This is a unique, one of a kind experience.
And you know, and no dig on anybody else that puts on an outdoor, but it's not just an outdoor concert.
Yeah.
It's everybody there knows what the funds go to. Now, last year was just off the hook. In addition to, because the Astros went in the World Series at the same time,
yeah.
And you know, I think they could see the the eruption from outer space. But you know, it was just I've seen some of the entertainers that were up on stage there versus other venues, and you could just tell even with them, the level they're putting out is just a little bit more.
Right. And we set them up for that because, like, we have them on the podcast. I talked to Daryl Worley earlier, and then I'm going to be talking to Joe Nichols next week or coming up soon. And a lot of times these artists don't know what they're coming to because the manager would keep it from them, or it's just another benefit. You know, people want to. He's coming to play for this. I get an opportunity to see them and talk to them myself and tell them, hey, this is what you're coming into.
Yeah.
And then they leave. Like when I got off the show with Daryl earlier, he was smiling and he was fired up. I think I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if he didn't get off that interview and go like check out the website or the Facebook page because we had him all fired up about the organization and the event.
Yeah, and you know, and you can make it a weekend event. You know, come in for the if you have a little charcoal grill, you know, come in for the cook-off.
Yeah.
You know, come in and be a part of that. You know, the party starts through that event and goes all night and goes into the next day, and you know, you can make an event out of it. You can make a weekend out of it.
I mean, if you like a good old pasture party,
oh yeah,
this is like a pasture party on steroids, and we can sit here and talk about it all day.
Oh, it is, but
you got to come.
If you haven't been there, you know,
you got to come.
You do, because you won't experience an outdoor festival. I mean, next to a Woodstock or a Burning Man or, you know, something. Yeah. It's that type of just everybody's. It's just an insane event that it's one of those that at the end of the night you're like, damn. No, come on. We can keep going. Let's go. Right. Let's go a few more hours. Come on. Let's pay the band. Let's keep them going. But no, it's an awesome event. I get
people coming to me and they're like, I want to get more at that event. I want to get more involved. I want to be a sponsor next year, because a lot of times it's people that it's their first year there and never been before, and they can't wait to come back the next year. And it's a huge testament to our committee members, our volunteers, our sponsors, everybody that plays, just the attendees, the cook-off teams, everybody. And we hope you'll come. Concertinthecountry.org. You can get all the information there about the cook-off, about being a vendor, about tickets, everything, the lineup, all that good stuff. Concertinthecountry.org.
And come out, you know, come out and volunteer. You know, there's even the volunteers are having a blast. You know, talking to the guys who are out parking cars in the parking lot. Every one of them had a huge smile on their face.
Yeah.
The security guys standing at the front gate, the guys in the medical tent, whoever, you know, come out and give a couple hours, give a half a day, give a full day, whatever the case, but knowing that you're giving a little bit of time. Again, you may not be able to give money, you may not be able to, but you can give a little bit of time, and just know that time goes to something that, you know, you're supporting people that are halfway around the world that are it's just gonna put a smile on their face.
And by the way, Concert in the Country was awarded Charitable Event of the Year, 2022 Charitable Event of the Year by the Texas Country Music Association for all of Texas. So we beat out some other very reputable festivals that have been around longer than us.
Yeah.
So we're very proud of that. Very proud of the work. We're grateful for sponsors like you, BB Custom Upholstery, and all of our sponsors. Brent, thanks for taking the time to come in today.
Appreciate it.
Hang out and talk a little bit about your business and your support.
Absolutely.
Before I sign off, I want to real quick, we have some other sponsors to recognize again. Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen. I'm going to go have dinner there later here tonight. Texas Stage, they are a concert production, event production company. Staging, lighting, sound, anything you need in that department. So make sure you check them out, give them a call for those needs. And then Roof Republic, woman-owned roofing company, female-owned roofing company. I was texting Chantel a couple hours ago before the show, and I said, well, what do you want me to tell people about your company? And she said, and forgive me for the cuss words, but she said, it's a women-owned, we don't penny pinch shit. If you see our roofs compared to the rest, we install only designer shingles with 30-plus color options. We don't install boring browns and blacks. Our colors and durability speak for themselves. So if you're looking to support women-owned businesses and you want to work with somebody who's passionate about what they're doing and wants to take care of you, call Roof Republic LLC. Talk to Chantel if you need any roof. Thank you guys for joining us on the Sailor Jimmy podcast. We will see you guys on the next episode. And always remember, what are you doing with your life?
Thanks for listening to the Sailor Jimmy podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Jimmy, check us out on the web at sailorjimmy.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/SailorJimmyTX, on Instagram at SailorJimmyTX, and on TikTok at Sailor Jimmy. We'll see you next time.